Speaking life is a whole different language of its own. It's as foreign to us as Japanese is as foreign to a native French speaker, presuming that that person only speaks one language, of course. But my point is, our society is not used to speaking life into the people around us, as constant hatred and ignorance are largely present within our culture, sometimes acting as the foundation of the very ground we stand on. But we must come to understand that our words are powerful and often affect the destiny of others. Marcus Garvey once said, "The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier than them both put together." End quote. With that being said, always make sure to go about speaking words of positivity in other people's lives and witness the amazing impact it manifests. Hi everyone, I'm Savanna and this is Mental Mondays with Savanna, a motivating, mental cleansing, and energy boosting podcast. I focus on how one can improve their mental health while helping you build a better mindset, better habits, and a better life for yourself. I'm a 15-year-old CEO, a passionate storyteller, and an optimistic dreamer who views the world through a different set of lenses. I came on here to share that unique view with you. My biggest hope is that my videos ignite a spark in you to seek your highest potential and so that you can live a life without limits. Let's dive into it. Hey y'all, welcome back to the 20th episode of Mental Mondays with Savanna. I'm so grateful to have come this far and thank each and every listener who has tuned in, whether you've been here from the beginning or just tuned in a couple episodes ago. Thank you so much for the support. If you haven't read the title yet, this is the last episode for this season, season 1, and after this episode comes out, Mental Mondays will be going on a temporary hiatus. So this episode is very special to me, and I'm eternally grateful for being able to come this far and learn more about myself and the world around me. So thank you so much. Though this may be the last episode for quite some time, I want you all to remember that the ending of this season is just the beginning of this self-care and self-empowerment journey. I don't know if y'all recall, but back in episode 6, like 14 weeks ago, where we discussed about the success mindset, I stated a quote that said, "If an egg is broken from an outside force, life ends. But if broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things always begin from the inside." End quote. So I want to let you all know that there is so much more in store, and though this podcast may come to a pause, our journey does not stop. Our egg is being broken from the inside due to the belief we have in ourselves and the motivation to keep going, because self-improvement always begins with yourself. Anyways, we are ending our first session and our first season of Mental Mondays with Savanna off with a big one. Now, this is an important topic because it is not only the last one before Mental Monday's hiatus, but it connects with every single topic we've talked about so far. So today's topic is speaking life in yourself and the ones around you. Now, I want you all to not only think about this topic deeply, but I want you to implement it in the weeks ahead while waiting for Mental Mondays Season 2 comeback. So here are some things we should know about speaking life. First of all, speaking life is a whole different language of its own. It's as foreign to us as Japanese is as foreign to a native French speaker, presuming that that person only speaks one language, of course. But my point is, Our society is not used to speaking life into the people around us, as constant hatred and ignorance are largely present throughout our culture, sometimes acting as the foundation of the very ground we stand on. But we must come to understand that our words are powerful and often affect the destiny of others. We're constantly bombarded with bad news about the latest cyber threat or the higher COVID infections that we don't take the time to build each other up through positive news or affirmations about ourselves and about the people around us. So many people need comfort in this dark, lonely world. Social media and the internet may try to keep us connected, but loneliness and isolation still becomes a toxic issue that affects us all in some way. Many people feel compelled to share their voice to any passing feeling, thought, or expression that they might have. They'll just randomly dump out the contents of their minds without thinking about the significance of the words they're expressing. So the main message is to be meaningful about your words and make sure they match your actions. A 2013 TED Talk, Does Language Bring Us Together or Pull Us Apart, actually explains and breaks down the importance of our voice and how we're able to implant our ideas into other people's minds. Biologist Dr. Mark Pagel says that the words that we use and how we use them matter so much because they are the ones that shape the way we look at the world and make decisions based off of it. This reminds me of a phrase Marcus Garvey once said: "The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier than them both put together." End quote. With that being said, always make sure to go about speaking words of positivity in other people's lives and witness the amazing impact that it serves. Words are so important, but we forget that sometimes. We forget how beautiful yet dangerous words can be. Simple words can completely change your life along with the people around you. Yes, words are important because we need them to communicate, but the ways that words are presented, spoken, and written are a whole different level of communication. So we can't let ourselves forget how important words are. Whether it's what we say or what we write, we can't forget the power that our words hold. So, how can we master speaking this foreign language of speaking life in the everyday situations that we face? The first one is to learn to speak life into ourselves. The first thing you have to do in order to speak life into yourself is to sharpen your mental awareness, building your self esteem in order to impact those who are around you. Now, I believe I said this in one of my previous episodes, but the cool thing is, you don't have to be a millionaire to speak life into yourself or other situations. You also don't need to invest into super expensive technology or go back to school to sharpen the skill. All you need to do is invest a bit of time each day to consistently train your brain to speak positively in whatever situation that you're facing. So, in order to do that, we first need to sharpen our brain with new information every day. Reading books, listening to inspirational messages, and all these different things contribute to this new gain of information. So, right now, I'm currently reading 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think, a book I'm currently borrowing from a friend. I also encourage listening to people like Oprah, Les Brown, Dr. Miles Monroe, Jim Rohn, Lovey Jones, my podcast. All these speakers just discuss topics from different perspectives. So not only is it a great break from all the negativity you hear, but it also helps you boost your morale and helps you gain new information that you would have never known about and helps you speak life into other people's into other people's circumstances. So it's just a win-win overall. Earl Nightingale once said that whatever we plant into our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. But it's not enough just to read new information and to watch inspiring messages. You also need to continue to build your self confidence up so you can translate these messages into positive affirmations for yourself and for others. That's the key part there. Now, I'm not saying that everything you come across and every circumstance that you're in, you should come across it with blind optimism, but I am saying that you should use words and thoughts to evoke your strength and success. Just try filling your thoughts with words that make you feel happy, make you feel strong and in control of your life. That, yeah, I can do this. Speaking life into your existence, speaking life into your circumstance. And make that a concentrated effort to focus on these words rather than those that make you feel like you're failing. And direct your thoughts in a more constructive way. The second thing is to challenge yourself to speak life into someone else's day every single day. Can you use the right words, plant the right seeds into others, and have it grow, multiply, and reproduce into a bigger tree and into a forest that can inspire the next generation? Our tongues can contain words both of death and life, because the power of death and life lies within the power of the tongue. But we need to learn to use the life filled ones more often than not. Encouraging others will shine a gentle light on their circumstances and give them a different point of view. But just remember to be tenderhearted and show kindness as much as possible, because you don't know whatever turmoil they might be going through. So, this encouragement can be gentle and kind, words when they're hurting, and it can also be guidance when they're doing something wrong. It's not always positive, but it's always for their good. So, encouragement speaks life and healing into the world. It doesn't matter if you manage to impact one of your closest friends or 10 of your classmates or coworkers, you are still able to speak life and spread that inspiration. And that's the goal. After this episode and after season 1 is done, I'm challenging each and every one of you listening to this podcast to speak life, speak inspiration in your neighbors around you, in your families, your friends, people that you contact often. Because you, after listening to 20 episodes from season 1, I hope that you have learned a couple of things out of there, and you can now go on within your life and use those things. But you don't just use those inspirational messages, but you also encourage other people through those inspirational messages that I have taught you. So hopefully it'll be like a ripple effect. It'll be like a domino effect where one person will impact another person, and it just continues on and on and on. That is my hope. And the quote of the day comes from Robert Ingersoll. And they say, "We rise by lifting others up." End quote. So as we close off on this note, I want to challenge you to speak life into other people's situation, into other people's circumstances. I know for the past couple of months, since late May, I've released weekly episodes that were focused and geared towards improving your mindset and your mental awareness, allowing you to become the best version of yourself. This podcast also focuses on how one can improve their mental awareness while helping you build a better mindset, better habits, and a better life for yourself. Initially, I came on here to share my unique view of the world with all of you, but I'm lucky to say that my platform has grown past that vision. Now, my greatest hope is that my videos ignite a spark in you to seek your highest potential and so that you can live a life without limits. We've all been on this learning path together, and I'm extremely grateful to have such a platform that allows me to make such an impact on other people's lives. But the amazing thing is, the impact doesn't have to start or end with me. I want to encourage all of you to be the change in other people's lives. This podcast, rather, this movement, only started because I decided to leave my comfort zone and share my gift with the world. And now I want you to do the same while inspiring those around you to come with you. There's nothing more powerful than leaders creating and inspiring more leaders. Tom Peters said it best. A leader doesn't create followers, it creates more leaders. So I'll leave season 1 on this note. Based on all the information you've received from the past 20 episodes, how are you going to use all that knowledge now and speak life into other people around you? Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Mental Mondays with Savanna, Season 1. Thank you so much for tuning in. You just listened to Mental Mondays with Savanna. Make sure you click the subscribe button to receive more positivity every Monday and join the fam. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next week.